Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Long for ACTE 699.5. This is my digital jigsaw on teacher-generated formative and summative assessments as a form of data collection. So, how would you describe this data collection technique? What processes and procedures are unique to this technique? So essentially what this is, it's just what it sounds like, right? You're using formative and summative assessments, using work or quizzes and tests that are part of a normal classroom. Mertler stressed that this also is part of an existing record because it's part of a normal classroom. You're doing things that you would do in a normal setting within your classroom. And obviously, we know what formative assessments are. Take us out the door, little check-ins. We know what summative assessments are, your quizzes, your tests, things like that. That's well-known knowledge, I'm sure, at this level of education. I'm sure we're all well-versed on that. The assessments can be used to evaluate the impact and the effectiveness of the variables in the action research. So this is a great way to look at how much impact you are having on what the variables are doing. So obviously procedures, what you got to do, create a test or assignment that addresses a specific area of focus. And really it's designed to get data, right? Spoiler, this is a quantitative technique. So is it a qualitative or quantitative technique? And then what types of questions would this technique best answer? It's a quantitative. It's very numbers based, okay? This form of data is quantitative per mils. Teacher-made tests are the most common quantitative data collection technique, all right, which makes sense. If you're trying to see the results, for example, in my action research, I want to address the effectiveness of different forms of digital assignments and the effect it has on student learning. So for me personally, I would probably give a pre-test and give a post-test and utilize different forms of online assignments to see which one is the most effective, right? So obviously this is very data driven. And one of the best parts about this, which I'll mention in the strength, is that you have immediate access to those numbers, right? Questions regarding effectiveness of instruction, etc., are best served with formative and summative assessments, okay? So if you want to do something regarding that, a quantitative technique is great, and this formative and summative assessment is a great way to go for that. Now, what are some strengths with this data collection technique, and what are some weaknesses? So strength, formula to determine validity. I believe it was Mertler who stressed the Cooter-Richardson formula, which is a formula you can use to determine if something is reliable, if it's consistent, if it's valid. So that being R is the reliability index. You take the number of items on the test, you take the mean score and the standard deviation, and it tells you the internal consistency of your work, all right? Different methods for formative and summative assessments, which means you have the freedom to use different forms of assessment. So you can do a lot of different things with this kind of study. And as I said before, you have direct access to that information. As far as weaknesses go, it can be challenging to structure the classroom instruction in a way that looks at the variables you want to look at, but also presents itself as a normal classroom. And to maintain consistency within your classroom, it would be easy to introduce more variables than you would like to, given this. And also, we may know, I've had experience with this personally, students may not take formative assessment seriously if they don't see the value in it and don't understand the purpose of it. They're less inclined to take it seriously. You hear a test, you hear a quiz, and our students kind of perk up like, okay, this is serious. This is a big grade. It's always been synonymous with important work, but a ticket out the door isn't always synonymous with important work. And so if they do less effort, or have less effort rather, that can skew data. What concerns do you have about this data collection technique from a validity, reliability, and or ethical perspective? You have the issue of differences in academic ability on a per class basis may cause results to look like they aren't reliable. If that's how you're doing this, if you have one group that is full of students who are consistently high academic achievers, and you have another class that is low academic achieving, and they both have different forms of variables, you aren't going to have accurate results. It's important to note that pay special attention to the 5 sources of evidence to ensure validity. Especially with this, you want to focus in a classroom on the validity based on the the instrument content or the test content. That's per Mertler. And that's important, right? Because that's kind of the focus of what this whole data collection technique is about. It looks like that is it. So that's just a quick recap of teacher-generated formative and summative assessments as a form of data collection. I think it's really strong. I think it's great. And hopefully this helped you and can help you with your study. All right. Thank you.